everyone, today I'll be doing a solo Grandmaster doubles Lair run with Hunter. For my subclass, I'll be using the Stasis Hunter. Here are the fragments I'll be using in this video. For the kinetic, I'll be using False Promises with the famous exotic Lair Monarque. For my heavy, I'll be using the Tarantula with box breathing. For my helmet, I'll be using Fort Tracer with precision charge, linear fusion ammo finder with 10 recovery. For the gauntlets, I'll be using 5 intellect, anti-barrier, auto rifle, overload bow with elemental shards. For the chest plate, I'll be using 10 intellect, double arc damage resistance with shield break charge. For the legs, I'll be using the 5 intellect, linear fusion rifle scavenger with other rifle holster with protective light. Last, I'll be using double bomber, and I'll be using an artifact mod to get some super by picking up shards. For this week, I decided to go for the Stasis Hunter and using the famous Monarque. Now I will be skipping all these ads over here and focus on the first Overload champion. Now I always jump from the left side and then just keep running. Of course I would wait for the first ship, but I was just being a little impatient as always. And to be honest, I would just go for the Night Stalker, but as you guys know, I am fed up of using Night Stalker for this week. We're gonna be talking a lot about the Stasis Hunter, especially for the super, which is gonna be so much fun because the tornado has a mind of his own, and I'm not even over exaggerating or joking about it. I'm very serious. You can take down the Overload champion from this distance. If you want to take down the Overload champion much more faster, you can switch for a heavy. Now I will be doing some time skips of doing DPS at the Brigs and some tanky Overload champions that just did not work out. And also the Overload champions that were taking a bit long. Now this is gonna be pretty interesting, where I'm gonna be spamming a lot of super of the tornado. And like I said, the tornado has a mind of its own. I don't know why. I feel like they nerfed the Stasis tornado for this season. Like, it goes fast, but then sometimes it disappears. Or when you use a tornado at the boss, sometimes it just doesn't feel like doing any DPS at all, and it just floats away and disappears. I am using the Monarque to take down a couple ads. I did throw my nade, but unfortunately my nade didn't freeze any enemies in this footage. It did on my test run, but sometimes the Seeker grenade also has a mind of its own. I guess it depends of the room. Like, if it's like an inside room like this, then the Seeker is kind of off. But if it's outside, it seems to be working pretty well. Now I am gonna do a time skip and wait for my super. Now if I was a Night Stalker, I would just go in the back side and do DPS. But since we're not a Night Stalker and I don't have anything to turn invisible, maybe Rat King or the Assassin exotic helmet, you know, I couldn't melee. Once I do have my super, I'm going to bait the anti-barrier and hope the super Stasis will do some DPS. Alright, Guardian, so let's see how powerful this Stasis tornado is. Hopefully it'll just stick to the DPS of the boss. And unfortunately, it didn't feel like it. So remember when I said that the Stasis tornado has a mind of its own? Yeah, it does. And this is probably a plan B and very dangerous, well, dangerous to do. But because my tornado didn't feel like doing DPS, it was just too shy and afraid, which is pretty hilarious and ridiculous. It makes Agger's Scepter more powerful than the Stasis tornado. Even the Titan can take down a barrier champion. It just doesn't make any sense of why the tornado has a mind of its own. Sometimes it just doesn't feel like doing any DPS. It's maybe shy. I'm not sure. But they definitely did nerf the Stasis tornado for PvE, because I remember a couple seasons ago when it was introduced, I remember it was slow, but the tracking was very good and it did DPS at the champions, bosses, clear, etc. Now I am taking down the barrier champion. I do highly recommend to use as much heavy as you can. It's not a really good idea to take your time taking down the barrier champion. Unless you're a Warlock Stasis, then you can take as much time as you want, which I am planning to go for a Warlock Stasis next time, since I have been spamming a lot of hunters lately for GMs. Now Overload champion from the left side, well, the right side, they will break down the shield of the wizard, and you can just first take down the wizard, then the Overload champion. If you do plan to take down the Overload champion first, then the wizard will not be taken down and it'll be floating around shooting arc. Now that's another reason why I am putting double arc. Highly recommend, no questions asked. Please don't comment like okay Blitz, maybe void resistance, melee, sniper. No, just put double arc resistance, please, for the love of the traveler, for Osiris and for Cade. Now I am gonna take down this Overload champion. You can also switch to your heavy to do DPS if you want to, but I did get the 100k for this video, so I was quite happy about it. But the run could have been much more faster if the tornado was cooperating. But you know, it doesn't feel like doing anything in this video. 3 times, maybe 4 times, it just had a mind of its own. It's like loopy doopy doo, gonna float in the air and just do nothing, waste of a super and waste of my time. Now the Seeker seems to work accurate when it's outside. If it's inside a building, doesn't seem to work out. Now I am using a mod where the shards can just, you know, go towards me. I thought it'd be a fun idea to try out the fragment mod, because I never really use it in any of my videos, so this will be probably the first time using this mod, and it's not really so bad, to be honest. I do like the stasis with the fragment where the shards can follow you, and especially when we're using a build where we can get our super by collecting the shards. Now you can use your super, but I don't trust so much with the tornado. I mean, you guys saw what happened at the previous anti-barrier. The tornado didn't feel like doing any DPS at the barrier champion, the first one. So hopefully we can show everyone, well, hopefully this tornado can show all the fellow guardians how powerful this tornado stasis is with that. So instead I use my super, and let's hope and pray for the traveler and the speaker that this tornado can actually do some DPS and finally is doing some DPS. You know, it's supposed to pretty much do this and not the first attempt of using my super. Now, what you can do here is just take down the wizards, then the Arcanite, and then the anti-barrier. I would ignore the anti-barrier. This would be the plan B if you have not used your super to take down the first barrier champion at the backside where we saw the first time. So if the anti-barrier champion is not cooperating, which it wasn't at here, you can just go around at this spot, and then the Fallens will help you do some DPS towards the barrier knight or the barrier champion, etc. Once I defeat the anti-barrier champion, I decide to go back to the previous area so I could take down the fallen snipers and I was just trying to find another new angle, which I should have not done. I should have just keep going to the right side, well, to the left side. But as you guys know me, I like to do some experimenting, so I was trying to see if I could find another way to deal with the snipers and the Overlord champion, but this angle wasn't the best, to be honest, but it was okay dealing with the arc captain if it is in the way. So I was trying again to see if I can take down the barrier, well, the arc captain, and it seemed to work pretty accurate, pretty nice. And I did see 2 Vandal snipers, but had to be super careful on the run for my life, especially dealing with 2 snipers that can 2-shot me if I'm not really being very careful. Now, these Vandals are very dangerous, so I try to take them down as much as I can. Then once I do, then I take down the barrier, well, Overlord champion. So yeah, the power of the Monarque, where it poisons the Overlord champion and it just makes life easier. Of course, I would highly recommend to use explosive bow, or if you don't have the Tyranny, or Tyranny I like to pronounce, then you can use Taiku for solar bow. But I do highly recommend to use Monarque if you do want to try it out. If not, then you can use the Taiku. Now we're gonna have 3 waves of ads, and I like to go in the back over here. There are many methods to deal with the waves of ads. It's everyone's playstyle, to be honest. I just like this spot for me, and like I said, everyone is different, so just to let everyone know, there is also another spot all the way from the front side, well, previously where you were standing when dealing with the second barrier champion. You can also go over there, but like I said, it's everyone's playstyle, doesn't really matter, to be honest. As long as you're comfortable with that specific area, then just go for it and then take down and clear the ads. I did use my super there just to clear down the Vandals, since they do have the Seeker arc shots that can hurt pretty bad for my Hunter. And then you can just lose the Monarque. Now I do highly recommend to try your best to do precision shots. For me it was a bit annoying because my TV is small. It's not the best TV ever, which I will buy a new TV for Black Friday, which I am really excited about. Now there will be a couple of snipers, so highly recommend you take them down, or if you're using Taiku, then you know this would be much more easier. Now I'm just being super careful right now because there are a couple of ads from the right side which you can throw your Seeker grenade. And like I said, it seems to work well outside than inside the building. Sooner, that's what I learned when using the Seeker grenade. I mean, it seems to be pretty good. Not so bad. These dregs are extremely dangerous, the one that shoots solar, so be super careful with them. They could 2-shot you, and for some reason they can 1-shot melee you. But the weirdest thing is the acolytes, right? The thralls don't 1-shot you when they melee you. They take around 2 shots, but for some reason the fallen, they can 1-shot you. It's so weird, I don't understand, but you know what, it's alright, you know. I guess it's Bungie logic. That's the only answer I can think of throughout this entire Nightfall. Now you're probably thinking I should use my super, but I don't recommend. I honestly prefer to use my super to have the anti-barrier champion to spawn in front of me, because I notice when I ignore the barrier champion. It starts shooting me from this area and it can be very annoying. And honestly, I would just prefer to take down the barrier champion. Now that's just me, everyone's different. People would just ignore the barrier champion and then just clear all the ads. But for me, I prefer to take down the barrier champion because it really bothers me, especially when I'm at the back of the map, at the back side. And it can be frustrating when trying to take down the Overload champions, the Arc Knights, ads, and then you have this barrier champion shooting Arc really far away, by the way, and they're pretty accurate. Now we're gonna go for the next waves of ads once you take down Arc Knight. But always make sure you clear out all the ads. You can see here I didn't clear all the ads for the next wave. My bad. So I have to take down this Vandal, and now I'm gonna go quickly run for my life to the back of the map. So now we're gonna go for the next waves, and this is when we're gonna have a couple wizards, a lot of acolytes mixed with fallen ads, and then very soon I will have an anti-barrier champion to spawn in front of me. Now you could try your best to take down the solar wizards with your Monarque. I am going to try my best if it works out or not. I mean, if it doesn't work out, then the Fallens will help you take down these solar wizards. But as you guys know, that I am going to wait for the barrier champion to spawn so I can get rid of it and actually, you know, make some progress. So the barrier champion did appear, so I decided to use my super and take him down very quickly. Now finally the Stasis tornado is behaving, you know, because as you guys know, the tornado has a mind of his own. And look at that, it's actually staying a little bit more longer than before, so that's nice to see. There will be a couple of Arc Knights which I would highly recommend to take down as much as you can. So now I'm just trying to take down these Knights first, and then I'll clear down a couple ads from the backside. Well, from far away, from distance. There is a gold bar Vandal, which they are very dangerous, so I was just letting this gold bar Vandal to just shoot down the hive. Then later on, well, right now I'm going to take him down since he is very dangerous to deal with. So yeah, those elite Vandals are very dangerous, so I highly recommend you take them down. Now I was just looking, and of course, for some reason on my TV everything's dark, but on the recording it seems a little lighter. So that was, honestly, that is pretty hilarious. My TV, for some reason, it's dark, so I had to adjust the brightness, I guess. You can go back here, as I said before, and you can just take your time taking down the fallen ads, Vandals, etc. Then of course we're gonna deal with more champions very soon, depending how many ads you clear. Now I was trying to see if I could take down this Arc Captain, and they're very frustrating to take down, so I decided to pull back because it seemed a bit dangerous. Unless I was a Night Stalker, you know, I could go invisible and grab a couple of heavy, but I can't do that for Stasis Hunter, so that was unfortunate. Now at this time it would be best to just spam your super, and basically that's what I did throughout this entire waves of ads. So every time I had my super, I just used it just to clear them much more faster. So always make sure to just use your super. So once you take down the barrier champion, then you can just spam as much super as you can. Doesn't really matter so much anymore. Also, make sure when you are using your super, make sure there are ads spawning in front of you. Like right now I have Shank, so I decided to use my super. Of course, dodge the arc attacks, which I do not want to get destroyed from them. Like I said, the tornado has a mind of its own, as you can see over here. Yes, I said that. The tornado didn't seem to last that long in this footage for some odd reason. I'm not really sure why. I'm just trying to mess around, figure out like why is this Stasis tornado is not cooperating so much as I wanted. When using the Monarque, when you do precision headshots, especially the overload champions, you can poison the surrounding ads close to them. So instead of clearing the ads, make sure you just do precision headshots on any overload champion. Then the vandals, fallens will get poisoned, and then it will help DPS the ads and of course the overload champion. So you can see here that a couple of vandals were taken down, and you can just take your sweet time. It doesn't really matter so much, as you can see here. Like I said, you can switch to your heavy, but if you are low on heavy and it's very low, then I wouldn't recommend to use your heavy. Unless you're a Night Stalker, then you can just turn invisible and grab a couple of heavy, but yes, you can. But we are on Stasis Hunter, so I can't really do that method in this video. Now, I did saw a couple of ads, so I wanted the tornado to go and do DPS, so hopefully the tornado will detect and clear a couple of ads. And of course it disappears. I think it was trying to go up to the snipers, and because it took so much stamina from the tornado, it just didn't feel like going up to the stairs, so it just disappears. Just great. Perfect. I mean, the power of Stasis Tornado Hunter, it's just fabulous. It's the best. Stasis, okay, I'll be really honest, I think the Warlock just wins the best super. Warlock Stasis or using the Agar Scepter seems like the best super, quote unquote, for the Agar Scepter. And then of course for the Warlock, it just seems more efficient and more reliable. The Stasis Tornado, just like I said, has a mind of its own. I do wish I have the ability to control the tornado. Like, why can I control the tornado? Also, another thing that's been bothering me, shouldn't there be an exotic for the Hunter to have the Stasis Tornado to last longer? Now, you're probably wondering why I'm using Fort Tracer. I'm using Fort Tracer to make the tornado stronger when the boss or champions are low on health, you know, etc, etc. That's the only reason why I'm using Fort Tracer. And also the DPS, the boss, especially using the Monarque, it just works very well. I mean, that's my opinion. They really do need to have a exotic to make the Stasis Tornado stronger. I mean, they did have an exotic for the Titan. Remember Thunder Crash? I did say that they need an exotic to make the Thunder Crash stronger. And guess what? Next season, they did. And I had predicted it. And I really hope they're gonna have an exotic for the Hunter to make the Stasis Tornado more powerful. It just... or at least make the tornado last longer, just like Chaos Rage. For the Warlock, for the boots, they made the Chaos Rage more longer. Well, of course they have nerfed it. Yes, I know that. But you see what I mean? They need an exotic for the Stasis Hunter. Especially the super. It needs to be more stronger or longer. It needs to have, the super needs to stay more longer. And that's just my opinion, you know, everyone would disagree. Because, like I said, Tornado has a mind of its own. It will float in the air and go, la-di-da-di-da, hello, I wasted your life and time, and then it disappears. Now you saw here that I did clear down the ads, and I am going behind this box because this Overload Champion has the Arc Seekers, which they can easily melt you if you stand still. So always move around when taking down the Arc Overload Champion. The reason why I call it Arc because it likes to shoot Arc a lot. Now we're gonna go deal with the most famous room, the tank in the Brigs room. Everyone's best friend, everyone's favorite. First things first, I take down the snipers, and if I get the worst bungee luck ever, which it always happens to me, if they're immune from the anti-barrier champion, which most likely it will do, you can go back here, wait, and then go back and take down the snipers. It just seems the best way for me. Like I said, everyone is different. Once you take down the two snipers, then you can actually use your super and clear down the ads first, and then the boss, well, the anti-barrier champion. Now I am not pushing, you know, towards the door because there are 3 snipers from far away that could one-shot me. So I just stay back here and clear down as much ads as I can and make sure I take them down. So I thought I did take down all the ads, but there is one from the left side, but it was hiding, so I just, you know, decided to just take down this barrier champion or this barrier servitor. So this is one of the reasons why I would recommend to take down all the ads, because the Fallens can throw arc grenades and it can mess up your DPS, especially dealing with the barrier champion. Now I forgot to reload here, my bad for that. But you can see that sometimes I forget to reload when using the linear fusion rifle. Once I do take down the Fallen ads and the barrier champion, now I'm gonna deal with the snipers. Now this is probably gonna be the most boring. So I'm gonna be spending like 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of my life dealing with snipers, hiding, hide and seek, and then we're gonna be dealing with Brigs and a tank. But as you guys know me, I need to take down the Overload champions, and these vandals are in the way. So basically, I'm gonna be taking out snipers, tanky Brigs, yay, isn't it fun? And guess what? They take forever to do DPS with just a bow. And if you think the Tornado Stasis super is gonna do any effective DPS, then yeah, I'm gonna disappoint you. It doesn't really do so much. And the Tornado has a mind of its own. I'm not even joking, so you'll probably see very soon that I will try to use the Stasis Tornado at the Brigs, you know, to see if it does something, but it doesn't do anything with the Brigs. You might as well just throw the Tornado at the ads in the middle of the map or from far away from distance from the sniper vandals. I wouldn't bother myself using the Stasis Tornado at the Brigs. It's just completely useless. Yes, I said it. Stasis Tornado is just completely useless at the Brigs, so I wouldn't bother myself. Like, it makes Taiku more stronger to take down the Brigs, or even Agriceptor, even a Warlock super or the Turret can do a better job. And that's just baffling, to be honest. I'm just a little bit disappointed. And sometimes a tornado doesn't feel like going to the Brigs. Now I am standing at this area because I don't want to push further to make the Brigs and the tank spawn. I want to take down the snipers, the elite gold snipers first, but as you guys know, there is an overload champion which I would highly recommend to take down. You can actually go up here and take down the overload champion. So I try to take him down as soon as possible because he's just gonna give a big headache if you try to skip him and deal with the Brigs and the tank first. The power of 4 Tracer is doing more DPS when it's low on health. Very lovely. Now to take down the Vandals. This is gonna be so fun. I just love sniping from far away from a small TV that I can't see anything. I'll be honest with you, I can't see anything. So I decided to use my super. I was like, okay, hopefully the tornado will go down like in my test run. No. Alright. The power of the Stasis tornado, it just didn't feel like it. Why is it floating all the way from the... Why is it floating from the left side? Is it too shy to take down the sniper Vandals from long distance? Now, just to let everyone know, I did a test run and a tornado actually landed at the elite Vandals and it did clear them down. But for some reason in this footage, it just didn't feel like it. It's like, nah, Blitz. I don't really feel like it. La di da di da da da. Ooh, look at the sky. So yeah, Guardians, the power of the Stasis tornado. Don't mind me, you can use a super and then 50% chance, or maybe 20% chance, your tornado will float in the air and do nothing. It'll be scared to death. It'll be too shy to do any DPS. It's just gonna say, I don't really feel like it. And then it just disappears. Then you waste your super. Just fantastic. So make sure you clear down all the Vandals as much as you can before spawning the Brigs and tank. So I am going to do a mini time skip to just clear down the Vandals from the back. When you do see a ship, always pull back a bit. And now we're going to be dealing with the Brig. And guess what? I'm going to save everyone's time and do a mini time skip. Not now, but I do want to show to always try to bait the Brig. And these Brigs love to dodge your attack. They're just so frustrating to deal with. Of course, at the same time, I was multitasking. I was trying to take down, trying to do some DPS at the tanks' legs, or the spider's leg, or the walker's leg. Let's just call it walker, I guess. So finally, we can do some DPS at the Brig. So very soon, I'm gonna show... I'm going to show all the fellow Guardians how powerful, how OP this tornado is. Yep, the power of Super Stasis tornado. Fantastic. Honestly, I wouldn't waste your time using your super at the Brig. Just use it at the ads in the middle of the map or far distance from the Vandals or anything. Focus on the ads. Don't even bother yourself using the Brig. It's completely useless. So I'm gonna do a mini time skip because this is gonna take a while. So once I, waste 3 minutes of my life and I save you guys a couple of minutes, now we're gonna take down this Brig. OMG. Can I just say that this Brig is so annoying? Now what I could have done is I could take down a walker first, but I don't trust this brig at all. You can also take down the brig from the ground, but the problem is the walker has a mind of his own. It can shoot you from far distance, and I do want to say that I think they nerfed a little bit at the walker, because I remember when I was standing here a couple seasons ago, it did one-shot me when I was standing here, and now it doesn't do that anymore. So I think they did nerf the walker distance. And of course, if the brig does this void attack, immediately move away and then resume your DPS. That's the only bad thing of standing this platform. Anyway, I'm gonna do a mini time skip because this is gonna take forever. They're spending so much time taking down that annoying brig. Now we're gonna be dealing with the walker, and of course I miss one. I miss one elite vandal, oh no. So before I take down the walker, I need to take down this brig, because the anti-barrier champion is gonna immune all the vandals, especially the snipers, and it's not gonna be a fun. It's not gonna be fun, trust me. I'm just, honestly, I would just take down the elite vandal. Yeah, pardon me of my poor aim. It's really hard to see from far away with... Okay, so there is a ship, so definitely pull back. So now I'm just waiting for the ship to go, you know, fly away. Hopefully it can disappear. And it is spawning a champion, or spawning a champion. Now I'm going to have the box breathing effect to do DPS at the boss. Now you can use particle deconstruction. By the way, I am not using it in this video, but you can see how powerful box breathing is even without the particle deconstruction. Now I am being super careful with this. I do love the tarantula, especially dealing with the walker, because you can take your sweet time and you don't have to use a massive of ammo to do DPS. Now of course, if I was using particle deconstruction, it would be probably a little bit more DPS, but you can see that it seems to be working well even without the mod. Now remember with particle, it's around 50k, so it's not really so bad, to be honest. So like I said, you can take your time and then just focus on doing DPS. Now I will do a time skip once all my heavy is gone, so I'm just trying to be super careful and deal with this walker. And once you use all your heavy, then you could just spam your Monarque. So I will do a time skip for this, because you basically just have to shoot him over and over. Once I take down the walker, now things are gonna be more easier. So first things first, I need to take down this overload champion, and there are a ton of overload champions in this room. Seriously, how long have we been in this room, this area? We've been more than 10 minutes, and it's already frustrating. Now once you take down the walker, we're gonna have more vandal snipers that will spawn. Now I should have just used my super, to be honest. Maybe I should have done, so you know, I could at least try to take down the snipers. So yeah, the power of Monarque, well actually any bow will work out well with explosive to take down the overload champion. So I was quite happy. There are still a couple of vandals. If only I was using Taiku, you know, I could easily take them down much more quicker. Now I decided to push forward and of course take down these mines since they are very dangerous. By the way, for some reason I had a funny footage where the mine killed me. My super destroyed me while there was a mine next to me. It just didn't make any sense, but I did get one shot by my own super. So yeah, make sure when using your super, don't have any mines close to you because you can actually get killed. You can actually get destroyed from your stasis super if there are mines close to you. Like if they're like about to burst, I would highly recommend not to use your super. And the reason why I use it because I saw the Argnite in front of me. It teleported in front of me. And then I used my super, and then it got destroyed, and it left the mine, and I died. Yeah. Now, I was thinking of going to this angle to deal with the barrier champion. Yeah, not the best idea. So this isn't really the best idea, in my opinion, unless you're using a strong anti-barrier weapon like MsBlitzVI, then you can go over here. But if you're using auto rifle and a very weak super, then I wouldn't recommend going over here because guess what happened? The Overlord champion was protecting the barrier champion and I wasted my super and my life here, so that was unfortunate. I was kind of upset about it. So because that didn't work out, I decided to go for the method where I should have done in the previous, but I didn't. I should have done it because I'd done in my test run, but for some reason I just want to see if I can go the other direction because I usually go there for master runs, but for GM it seems, I guess this angle seems to look best. So I did saw the Overlord champion on his own, and the snipers were not shooting me from this little hiding spot, so I decided to just stand over here and then just do DPS as much as I can. Of course, this barrier champion troll me. He's like, haha, Blitz, you couldn't use your super to defeat me. I'm just gonna throw you and stay all the way from the left side. Such a troll, this barrier servitor. Now there is another Overlord champion, by the way, so let's not forget, because I know one time I didn't count and the Overlord champion teleported behind me and one-shot me. So I know there are around a couple, let me see, 1, 2, 3. In this part, there's always 2 Overlord champions, and when you do get close to the entrance, well, to the exit, then one Overlord champion will spawn. Well, this one, by the way. Once you take down the Overlord champions, then you can take down the barrier champion. Now, just be aware there is a ARC captain, which highly recommend to take down. Or if you are a Night Stalker, then it doesn't really matter so much. You can just turn invisible and then just, once you take down the barrier champion, nothing really matters. You can just collect the heavy, turn invisible, and then just go to the boss fight. But we can't do that for Stasis Hunter unless we have Rat King or the exotic helmet to melee or use finisher to turn invisible. We can't do that, so I actually have to stand here and hopefully this barrier champion will cooperate with me. Finally it does a bit later on. I was trying to use my auto rifle, it didn't work out. It was just being a very stubborn servitor throughout this entire Nightfall. Now be aware there are invisible fallens around this area, so I was hearing them, so that's why I didn't go all the way from the left side to do DPS at the baby servitor, I mean anti-barrier servitor. And once you stagger the barrier champion, you can use your super and spam your linear fusion rifle. Now, I was trying to see if I can go and take down the Arc Captain. And of course, you saw there, I just switched my auto rifle. I didn't mean to. My controller was being weird. I think my controller is broken again. I probably have to go to GameStop again and get a new one, because it keeps breaking every 2 months. It keeps breaking, this controller. It's not fun. And don't worry, I have insurance. Sadly, I have insurance for this controller, so they can give me a new one. But seriously, why? Why are these PS5 controllers break so quickly? That's just sad. My PS4 never broke. Well, maybe once, but that's about it. Alright, so I was trying to bait the Arc Captain to go in front to shoot, so I can go and do DPS. At the same time, I was collecting some heavy. And of course, this Arc Knight's extremely stubborn. Like, please, I just want to get to the boss fight. We've been here for 50 minutes already. Like, that's all I want. I just want to get to the boss fight. It's taking too long. This is why I don't like this. Well, actually, this is why I don't like this area. It takes forever. Unless you're using a strong subclass and weapons, and it doesn't really take too long. Everything seems to be working well, so I'm going to be collecting heavy and then just go to the boss fight. Finally, at the boss fight. And this little ad was like, nah, Blitz, not today. OMG. So I thought there was a door here, but there wasn't. My bad for that. So I just decided to run. I've run for my life. So now we're going to be running towards the boss. Alright, so now we're gonna be going to the boss room where anything could go wrong. And when I mean anything could go wrong, I'm talking about the Arc Knights where they can teleport inside the building, or Dregs could out of nowhere teleport and one-shot you for some odd reason. But first things first, there are 2 Overload champions, so highly recommend to take them down. Now, I'm trying to remember. I have to look at my old video. I remember there was 3 Overload champions, but now there's 2, or I could make a mistake. I don't remember. It's been a long time. But anyway, you can take down the Overload champions. Just remember to do precision headshots. That way the poison can surround the red ads, and then you don't have to deal with them spamming grenades. So yeah, the power of Overload, well, the power of Monarque. Now once you take down the ads, then you can do DPS at the boss. So I was waiting for the shield to break, and I probably did it a bad time. You can see I was just waiting. I was like, hurry up, I want to do some DPS because I need to go inside the building very soon because there's going to be fallen ads. And of course I used my super, which it was a panic super, by the way. Because this captain is the one that usually ruins my runs in this Nightfall. And basically this Arc Knight that you saw that I previously destroyed, it can teleport inside the building and melt you. It can two-shot you, one-shot you. It's not fun, to be honest. You could just do DPS at the boss. I did ignore the fallen ads because honestly, I just didn't really want to clear them down so much. Now, you could clear them down and then have a better angle to deal with the boss. I didn't want to waste time because I was going for the 100k in this video, so I decided to just try to do DPS at the boss as much as I can and ignore the ads. Just to let everyone know, I'm trying to be super cautious with this boss because I am just going one shot at a time because I am trying to use as much box breathing as DPS as I can, and the boss can melt you if you're not careful because it does use this avoid attack and it can be very dangerous. And of course this ad is teleporting everywhere, which was very annoying. So now I'm just trying to do as much DPS as I can. I missed my critical headshot and I was just looking the left side because I didn't want any ads to melee me because they always do in this video, well, in this Nightfall. So now I'm just being super careful. You can also use the power of Monarque to do critical headshots. So I was trying to find a good angle, like I said, and finally this boss was standing at the right spot that I want him to do. And then he standing in this weird spot and then just float up in the air. And now it's gonna bring the cutest little mini baby servitors. And be aware of their cuteness because they can shoot through the window if you are close to the window. Now because of the splash damage. Because of the splash damage, they can melt you. These cute, adorable baby servitors. But sadly, we do need to take them down so we can break the shield of the boss servitor. So be aware that there are fallen ads that can shoot arcs, snipers, invisible ads, etc. So be aware of them, but as you guys know, I just want this Nightfall to be done. So I wasn't really focusing on the ads too much. I just want to break the shield of the cute, innocent, deadly baby servitors and using the power of Monarque. So you could just keep using Monarque over and over and then just do DPS. Like I said, we're using 4 tracers, so the lower the health is, the more quicker you can take down the servitor for the hunter, by the way. Now I was trying to see if I can throw my nade, and it sometimes works and then sometimes it doesn't work. It has a mind of its own, the Seekers, for some reason in this boss room. But because my Seeker wasn't cooperating so much, I decided to use Monarque to take down the baby servitors. You can safely take them down here. And the reason why I'm just hiding and then shooting, because there are a couple ads that can melt me if I just stand still. Unless I was a warlock with a healing rift, with a turret backing me up, then I probably would just stand still and just spam my healing rift. But since we're not a warlock, and we don't have Night Stalker invisibility to go, you know, turn invisible and collect the bricks. Can't do that, so I'd say just be more cautious and be super careful and try to use my tornado. Oh my god, did you see that? So for some reason my tornado was inside the building. I was trying to throw it outside of the window, but it just wasn't working out. Seriously, this tornado has a mind of its own. The power of the super stasis tornado, where it doesn't feel like doing DPS at the ads. Instead, it just stays inside the building all scaredy cat. Why can't I move this tornado towards the ads? That's so ridiculous. Honestly, that really irritated me so much. You saw there that the first strike, the first super, well, the one where you freeze the enemy, it went through the window. But then the second one where I need to cast a tornado, it just didn't feel like going through the window. It just went inside the building and then I wasted my super. Like, that is super annoying. I would just go for Night Stalker, to be honest. Maybe Gunslinger would be better. Not thinking about it. I just don't see the tornado to be good. I just don't see this. This tornado is RNG. Super RNG. It's super RNG, by the way. It just feels like clearing the ads. Or if it doesn't feel like it, it just stands in the building and then disappears after 5 seconds. Now I'm trying to clear down the ads at the same time. The boss is teleporting left, right, middle. So what I should have done here is once I clear down all these vandals, I should have went downstairs and do DPS. So I was thinking maybe if I clear down the ads and then do DPS at, you know, at this angle, it would be a good idea. But I should have just went downstairs, to be honest. Like, use my super, which didn't work because, you know, my super went inside a building, and then just do DPS. But I wanted to have a good angle like this. Of course, you know, the boss will teleport, so be super careful that the boss can teleport, and it can shoot through the window, which is void attack. So now I'm just being very careful because I do see some ad shooting from that angle, and of course I throw a seeker. Now I was trying to see if I can get the critical headshot, and it seemed to work okay. And you know, you can see that the boss can shoot through the void, well, through the window, so always be careful. And I was running out of heavy. Now you're probably thinking, why can't you just go and pick up the heavy bricks? Yeah, about that. I can't. There's still a couple of ads, invisible ads, that could one-shot me. And the boss is pretty much teleporting left and right. I can't pick up the heavy bricks unless I have shoot to loot. Unless I'm a Night Stalker, then yeah, sure, why not? But I cannot pick up the heavy bricks, unfortunately, and have to deal with the limited heavy I have to do DPS at the boss. So yeah, the power of Stasis. Now you're probably thinking why aren't you using your super? Not yet. I'm gonna wait until I do DPS at the boss, then I'll use my super for the next waves of ads. Not this one particular, by the way. I am just trying to take my sweet time because I really want to take down the DPS at the boss. And of course my seeker is being extremely not cooperating or cooperative with me, and I'm trying to find this boss, do DPS. So like I said, I would just go downstairs and just wait for the boss to spawn, and then you can just spam bow, spam heavy, because this angle isn't really the best, to be honest. I was really hoping this boss will eventually stand on the right angle from the left side far, but it didn't. So this part was really irritating me. And I think eventually I did went downstairs. Yes, please Blitz, go downstairs. It's not worth standing here. But then of course I saw snipers and I was like, maybe I should clear them down. And then I was debating maybe I should go downstairs because there are captains now, which it's not looking good. And the boss was not appearing on this angle anymore. So there was a lot of things going in my mind. And please, Blitz, go downstairs. So you see here, there are a couple of dregs, which highly recommend you take them down. I saw a elite vandal, which was not friendly. So I tried to take him down with Monarque, and there is a mini invisible wall. So I just shoot the foot since I couldn't do a precision headshot for some odd reason. So I throw my nade just to make sure I take them down. And then I was just clearing down the shanks. So like I said, I would just quickly just go downstairs. Or use my super, which maybe I should have done, and then go downstairs. I saw a vandal, so it wasn't looking good. So there was these arc seekers, which is not fun to deal with. And I saw mines, so always take down these mines because they can one-shot you randomly. So I saw the boss and I was baffled. So what I should have done in the beginning is use my super and then just go downstairs. So the basement or the bottom floor, whatever you have to call it. Now I'm just being super careful because this boss loves to shoot and spam void at me. And it really enjoys to spam void. It really enjoys it, to be honest. Just loves it. See, I'm shooting one little bow and it starts going crazy. Isn't it just lovely? Absolutely lovely. Now I was thinking of using my super, but then again, I thought about the void attack. So I said, nah, I'm not gonna use my super. You know, I don't think it would be a good idea. So I decided to just use the Monarque, back up, use the Monarque, and back up. Now if I did have heavy, I would spam heavy right now. But I don't have heavy, and then I saw a brick. I was trying to get it, but it wasn't in a good spot since the boss is there. There's some couple of arc ads shooting at the heavy, so it wasn't looking great. Of course, champion appear, immediately go back upstairs. First thing you wouldn't want is the Overload champion teleport inside the building and one-shot you. No, you don't want that. You want to use your super and try your best to trap the Overload champion and do DPS as much as you can. Now, if I did have heavy, I would use bow and use my heavy as much as I can. But since I don't have heavy, I only have one. And I'm not a Night Stalker. I can't turn invisible and collect that heavy over there from the left side. I mean, it's already trolling me. So you can't get me, Blitz. You can't get this heavy. So just try your best to do DPS. I know there are heavy bricks, but like I said, for Stasis Hunter, especially if you don't have anything to turn invisible, it's just very dangerous to go there. Wouldn't recommend. I mean, look at that. Really gonna go for the heavy on the left side when there is an Overload champion just waiting for you to pick up the heavy. And we already know that that's not gonna happen because that will be a wipe and back to orbit. I decided to just take down the baby, cute little servitor. It has this weird name, but I'm gonna call it baby servitor. So once we take down the baby servitor, now there is an Overload champion, and this is probably the most annoying part. I really hate this angle of doing DPS at the Overload champion because it is very RNG of where the Overload champion is going to stagger. It could stagger from the far left or the far right. If it does stagger from the far right, then it's good news for me. But sometimes it staggers from the left side and it's not a good idea. So if it does stagger from the left side, you have to shoot the foot. So you will see very soon that I start to shoot the foot because it was moving from the left side, which I don't want it to do, but unfortunately, you know, it happens. It's a bit RNG of where the Overlord champion is going to be standing, to be honest. I'm not gonna say, oh, they always stand in this angle. Oh, they always stand in this specific spot. No, they are super RNG. Very RNG, and you have to be super patient. So I'm not gonna say, oh, you know, these Overlord champions stand in this specific spot. I always get them. No, I don't. It's RNG. Sometimes you stagger them and they just quickly go upstairs. Or they just teleport in front of you in the building and then teleport back outside. So like I said, it's RNG. I'm not gonna say they stand in that specific spot all the time and it's reliable. They are RNG and you must take them down very quickly, and no one really talks about it. So when you do see Overlord champion, you must melt them quickly. If you have heavy, melt them. Anything, melt them. And that's another reason I decided to go for the Monarque. So just in case, if I'm not having enough heavy to do DPS, because the Monarque can make the Overlord champion to not teleport compared to explosive Overload bows. Now I'm going to take down the baby servitors, and now over here I made a mistake because I thought I took down all the baby servitors, but because my TV was so small, I couldn't see anything. So I thought that I took down all the baby servitors, but I didn't. So because of my mistake, I wasted a super. And of course, a tornado didn't do anything. I mean, seriously, did you guys see any DPS of clearing ads with a tornado? I don't think I saw anything. Nothing. It's just hilarious. It's just fantastic. It just makes it more challenging. Isn't it fun when you use your super through the window, which is really hard to do, and then it just doesn't really do anything. It just goes and then disappears. Now over here is very dangerous, but I was just really impatient because I just want to clear down. I just want to take down the boss. Now, because I didn't use my super, I have to actually clear down a couple of ads, especially the vandals. So now I have to clear down the vandals because, well, I have to if I want to do some DPS at the boss at the ground level, or the basement level, or the first level, etc. So yeah, isn't this fun? I'm just having the best day of my life. If only I can throw a turret right now and have my minion do all the dirty work. This will make my life easier. Can't do that, I'm not a warlock in this video. Probably gonna do that next time. Just spam turrets. Let the minion do all the work. Now, if I have to be really honest, I think Warlock would be the easiest for this week. Or for Hunter would be Night Stalker. But yeah, you get the picture. Now, because I clear all these gold bar elite ads, now I can actually do some DPS at the boss. Now, I did saw a heavy brick, and I did manage to get it. I was debating to get it or not. I mean, look at this. The boss is spamming Void. It is really frustrating to try to get the heavy brick. And I was trying my best not to be too greedy. Being too greedy at Grandmasters can be a bad idea because it could lead you to a death, which would not be a fun experience. Especially when you spend an hour on a solo and then you just get destroyed by being too greedy. Then you're probably gonna put the controller down and say, why did I do that? And I did not want that to happen to me. Okay, maybe I did put the controller down, but a teleport fallen ad one-shot me and melee me, alright? That was ridiculous. It just said, hello Blitz, tag, you're it. and then I got destroyed back to orbit. Now, you're probably thinking maybe you should go upstairs. Now, you can actually wait for the boss to just appear in this area. Now, because the boss wasn't cooperating, and I don't really want to go upstairs and clear ads, to be honest, I'm just gonna wait for the boss to teleport eventually at this specific area. So eventually the boss did manage to teleport, and definitely was happy about it. So now I'm actually trying to do as much DPS as I can. And now 4 Tracers actually helping me a bit, because now I'm doing more damage to the Monarque. So now the power of Monarque and 4 Tracer. I do like 4 Tracer, especially using the Monarque with 4 Tracer, where you can see that now this weapon is starting to become more powerful as the boss's health is going weaker and weaker. Now, I was just being super careful because I saw these invisible fallens in the way, and I just have to be super cautious. So like I said, you have to be super careful, especially going this floor. I didn't want to go upstairs because I can never find a good angle. Depending how much DPS you do at the boss, you will hear a ship that will spawn more ads, and this is probably the best time to use your super. So I was just waiting for these ads to walk towards me, because this is the part where I definitely need to use my super or a turret for Warlock. I would just use a turret, to be honest, or a super. Now I was just being super careful, and the tornado was actually doing something right for once in this boss fight. Like seriously, I don't think the tornado did so much at all besides this one. Because every time I try to use my super, it does here and there, and then it just doesn't feel like going through the window. And then for this tornado, it actually cleared down the ads, and it went up. It flowed up to clear down more of the ads. Now there were vandals, so I was trying to clear them down as much as I can so I can actually do some DPS at the boss. Finally, I wanted to use my box breathing of Tarantula, so I'm just trying to be very careful because this boss is very unpredictable, where it can shoot and spam void at me. See, I'm being a little bit too greedy because I want to take down this boss. So once I take down this boss, we can finally complete the solo run. And there you go, finally we defeated the boss. And we got platinum. And I got a sniper. And everything's at my postmaster. Honestly, I would just go for Night Stalker, to be honest, to make the run more quicker. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.